Hello there, very good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV1 for the Newsfirst, where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan.
And I'm Peruni Karunaratna. Here are tonight's top stories. Digambaram, Mano and Radhakrishnan go against SJB and vote in favour of allowance increment for plantation workers. Thondaman also votes in favour of budget. Plantation workers protest against opposition's attempts to block 200 rupee allowance. Opposition leader says no issue with 200 rupee allowance, while his media spokesperson opposes provision of allowance using public funds. Namal urges the public to gather in Nugegoda on the 21st of November. SJB reiterates that it will not take part. What is Sarath Fonseca's response to the joint opposition rally?
පියන්නේ රට හදන්න පියන්නේ රට බේරගන්න කියලා. ඒක විශ්වාස කරන්න තරම් මෝඩෙක් මම නම් මෝඩෙක් නෙවෙයි එච්චර.
Sanjeeva Dharmaratna appointed acting IGP.
On to those stories in detail. Supporting the budget proposal for increasing wages of plantation workers, Mano Ganeshan and two other members of the Tamil Progressive Alliance, an allied party of the Samagi Jana Balabege, voted in favour of the budget today.
Meanwhile, Jeevan Thondaman, General Secretary of the Ceylon Workers' Congress and a member of the opposition, also cast his vote in favour of the budget, marking a notable development.
We now cross over to Juad Abdin for details of the vote on the second reading of the budget that was held this evening.
Yes, thank you, Martin and Theruni. Now, the second reading on the 2026 budget was passed with a majority this evening. Specifically, 160 votes were cast in favour, 42 against, while 8 abstained. Now, President Andrukumara Dissanayake, in his capacity as the Minister of Finance, presented the second budget last Friday, and the debate on this continued until today. Now, I must also say that there was much discourse over the government's proposal to increase allowances for plantation workers, and the opposition also expressed various views regarding this. The SJB in multiple locations seemed to oppose this proposal both within and outside Parliament. However, today several MPs and the SJB went against this stance and cast their votes in favour of the budget. Now, General Secretary of the Ceylon Workers' Congress and Parliamentarian Jeevan Thondaman of the UNP, MP Mano Ganeshan of the Tamil Progressive Alliance, and MPs Radhakrishnan and P. Digambaran all cast their votes in favour of the budget this evening. Now, before the budget reading earlier in the day, MP of the Lanka Tamil Arasu Kachi, Shanakyan Rasamanikam, said that they will be abstaining from voting. Let's now take a look at what he had to say.
Today's voting, your Honourable Deputy Speaker, our party will abstain from voting. We will not vote for the government or we will not vote against the government, only because, as a measure of goodwill, trusting the President, putting our faith in the President, that President will resolve our issues, that the President will listen to us, and the President will look after the Tamil people's political issues, that the President will bring in a new constitution that will include Tamil people's aspirations, that President will at least now, in the upcoming months, at least on the accountability issues, that the President will listen to the victim community, and even on the land issues, that the President will act on it, only because we want to engage. Like I said, the Ilangai Tamarasu Katchi abstaining from the vote is a serious message to the entire world that we are still trying to work with the government, that we still want to work with the government, and therefore it is now the President's responsibility, because it is only because the President has given us a time to meet in the coming week that we have taken a decision to abstain from voting in the budget of 2026. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
I don't want to go into intralities, cost structure of the wage, but it's the responsibility of the government. Inisa, onna api TPA Masamaga Digambara Matuma Madrituma, Eva Radhakrishnan Mandrituma, Sundarama Dang Ada. That is how we vote in favour of the second reading.
අපි මාර්තු මාසෙදී පුදුම වුණා. අපි හිතුවා හොඳ දෙයක් කරාම හොඳයි කියන විපක්ෂයක් ඉන්නේ කියලා.
Back in March, we were surprised. We thought that if we did something good, the opposition would acknowledge it. And at that time, we genuinely believed that. But now by March, April, May, we have realized that such an opposition doesn't exist. History will show who has been left holding the trash. Regarding the increase of wages for estate workers and the Malayagam community, I wanted to find out what the leaders of the Tamil parties in the hill country who belong to various associations had said along with their own parties. But it is clear to me who has been paid off. That is why we are telling the opposition leader, if possible, take the complaint submitted by the Bribery Commission and make it your party's position. If you oppose it, just giving false statements won't achieve anything. We don't mind whether it exists or not. We have already increased the wages and finished our part. If you can, resign and show it. What needs to be seen is the trend we have set in this budget, the very logical aspects of this budget. Fiscal discipline is one. We have not done anything arbitrarily or illogically. However, there are certain institutions and projects that could not be included in this plan. We have expanded the tax base and logically set the trend. We are preparing for the digitalization that will come after 25 years. Regarding that, we have already started small steps towards digitalization. We have written the policy statements ourselves. Whether you criticize them or not, we will continue with them. We have the patience for strategic planning. That is why we have the strategic patience. We are not going to be destabilized. Now these people are trying to destabilize us, but that will not happen.
Today, plantation workers and organizations again expressed strong dissatisfaction with the opposition's resistance against providing a daily 200 rupee allowance.
Today, plantation workers staged protests in several locations expressing their disagreement with the stance taken by the opposition. In the Nuwara district, workers at the Agarapathana New Preston estate voiced their dissatisfaction.
நாங்க அட்டை கடிச்சு பாம்பு கடிச்சு பள்ளி கடிச்சு இந்த அட்டை மருந்த பூசி தான் நாங்கள் வேலை செஞ்சுக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம். அவ்வளோ அட்டை தோட்டக்கட்டில எல்லாம் அவ்வளோ தூரம் செஞ்சும் எங்களுக்கு இந்த ரேட்டை போட்டு கொடுக்கறதுக்கு நீங்க எதிர்கட்சியில் போராடுறீங்க. உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்க இயலாது, உங்களுக்கு எது செய்யலான்னு சொல்லி இயலாதுன்னே முடிவு கட்டுறீங்க. ஏன் கொடுக்க இயலாது? உங்களுக்கு ஒன்றும் தெரியாது. நீங்க சீட்டில் உட்காந்துக்குவீங்க, ஓட்டை வாங்கிக்கிட்டு நல்லா சீட்டில் போயிட்டு சுற்றி நாக்கல்ல உட்காந்துக்கிட்டு சுற்றிக்கிட்டு திரிவீங்க.
இந்த பயணம் தான் இந்த முதல் முறையாக வரவு செலவு திட்டத்தில் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு 200 ரூபா இந்த ஜனாதிபதி எங்களுக்கு கொடுக்க தீர்மானிச்சு பேசியிருக்காரு. நாங்க பார்லிமெண்ட்ல பேசுறதெல்லாம் பார்த்துக்கிட்டு கேட்டுக்கிட்டு தான் இருக்கிறோம். இல்ல மலையத்துல உள்ளவங்க டிவி பார்க்க மாட்டாங்க, நியூஸ் பார்க்க மாட்டாங்கங்கிற எண்ணத்தோட இது பேசுறாங்களோ தெரியல. ஆனாலும் கூட இந்த சம்பளத்துக்கு நீங்க எதிர்ப்பு தெரிவிக்காதீங்க. இன்னும் ஒரு எலெக்ஷன் வரும் பொழுது மலையக மக்கள் இடத்துல வந்து ஓட்டு கேட்காதீங்க. எங்களுடைய ஓட்டையை வாங்கி நீங்க வெற்றி பெற்று பார்லிமெண்ட்ல சீட்ல உட்காந்துக்கிட்டு எங்களுக்கே எதிர்ப்பு தெரிவிக்கிறது எங்களுக்கு அது உங்களுக்கே நல்லமுல்ல.
Workers at the Nan Oya Khalidek estate also expressed their opposition to the opposition stance.
எங்களுக்கு ஏன் அந்த 200 ரூபா கொடுக்க வேணாங்குது? கட்டாயம் எல்லாம் ஒன்று கூடி எங்களுக்கு அந்த 200 ரூபா போட்டு கொடுத்தா ரொம்ப எங்களுக்கு சந்தோஷம்.
அட்டை கடிச்சாலும் சரி உங்களுக்கு நாங்கள் உழைச்சி கொடுக்குற வரி பணம் சரியாக இருக்குது. இப்படி இருந்தும் எங்களுக்கு இந்த ஒரு போராட்டம் இல்லாமல் இந்த சம்பளத்தை உயர்த்தி கொடுத்ததில்ல. எதிர்கட்சிக்கு மிச்ச மனத்தாழ்வமாக இருக்குது, எதிர்ப்பு தெரிஞ்சிருக்காங்க. அவங்க நாங்கள் உண்மையாக கண்டிக்கிறோம். இருந்தாலும் எங்களுக்கு 1750 ரூபா சம்பளம் தருவேன்னு சொல்லி உறுதி கூறி பேசி முடிச்சதுக்கு நாட்டின் ஜனாதிபதி அவர்களுக்கு மிக்க நன்றியை தெரிவிச்சுக்கிறோம்.
இந்த எதிர்கட்சியில் உட்காந்துக்கிட்டு மேசையை தட்டிக்கிட்டு இந்த காசை கொடுக்க வேணாம்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஏன்னா அவங்களோட பரம்பரைங்கெல்லாம் நல்லா சம்பாதிச்சிருக்காங்க. எங்கிட்ட 200 ரூபா அந்த அரசாங்கத்தால் கொடுத்ததை ஏன் நீங்க தட்டி பறிக்கிறீங்க? இந்த 6-7 வருஷ காலமா உங்களால ஒரு 10 ரூபா கூட கூட்டி கொடுக்கல தானே, ஏன் இப்ப 200 ரூபா கூட்டி கொடுக்க நீங்க தடுக்கிறீங்க? அந்த ஜனாதிபதி இந்த காசு எங்களுக்கு கொடுத்திருக்காரு, அவருக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி. திரும்ப நீங்க எங்களை தேடி வரணும்.
Meanwhile, the Ceylon Workers' Red Flag Union held a media briefing in Kandy today, expressing opposition to the stance of the opposition regarding the plantation workers' wage increase.
Plantation workers are citizens of this country. We also contribute to the nation and pay our taxes. Increasing wages by 200 rupees from the government should not even be a matter of debate. As the Red Flag Union, our position is clear. Increasing workers' wages should not be treated as a political issue. It is necessary and must be implemented. Amid plantation workers' protests, opposition leader Sajid Premadasa stated today, both inside and outside Parliament, that his party does not oppose this allowance. He further emphasized that even higher allowances should be granted to plantation workers.
Specifically, the government has proposed an additional 400 rupee increase in addition to the 1,350 rupees through institutions and another portion through direct government intervention. We sincerely appreciate this increase and formally approve it at this stage. Outside Parliament. We have no objection to the 1,350 rupee plus 400 rupee increase. We fully support it. We would prefer if this increase is implemented directly through the relevant plantation companies. In any case, we have no issue with the increase. Our support is firm. This reflects the position of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya. As the party leader, I am expressing this view. This is our official policy. Despite widespread public opposition to the opposition, and even after making such statements, the party initially resisted granting plantation workers the 200 rupee allowance, according to the opposition leader's media spokesperson. Public tax money is being used to increase wages for employees in the private sector. There is controversy there, and that is a separate matter. If we start granting such increases to tea estate workers, onion farmers or garment workers, this becomes an expectation across the board. The same stance was reiterated by parliamentarian Nizam Karyappar, secretary of the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress, which is aligned with the Samagi Jana Balawegaya. Increasing wages for plantation workers will cost 5 billion rupees. It is a lot of money. Why should we spend taxpayer funds to give 200 rupees extra to people who are already earning huge profits? The money should come from those companies, not from the public. Meanwhile, SJB parliamentarian Rohini Kaviratna submitted written complaints to the Bribery Commission, the National Procurement Commission and the Auditor General, stating that the mechanism for granting 200 rupees to plantation workers is improper.
There are MPs here who came into parliament through the votes of the plantation Tamil community. We must ask MP Rohini Kaviratna if she has no shame to go to the Bribery Commission when a decision was made to provide a 200 rupee allowance to them. Your May Day rally was held over there. Is it justifiable for you to go to the Bribery Commission when you yourselves gave those people an allowance for attending your rally? Have you no shame to lodge a complaint against those people?
On one hand, I'm happy that the opposition leader issued a statement this morning confirming that he is in favor of this decision and has no issue with it. He even made several other good suggestions. I saw people of the plantation community carrying out certain religious rituals against the opposition. Perhaps that is what scared them. However, I must let the opposition leader know that one of his MPs, Rohini Kaviratna, has written to the Bribery Commission and the Auditor General. Then the media spokesperson also expressed opposition to our decision. Basically, there seems to be no general agreement or opinion with regard to this within the opposition. I must ask if the rest of the opposition bears the same view as the opposition leader or not.
We have very
clearly allocated 5 billion rupees in this budget for the Ministry of Plantation and Community Infrastructure. That ministry has the legal authority and mandate to use these funds for the development of the respective sectors. There is no legal obstruction to this. This cannot be challenged before the Bribery Commission or even the Supreme Court. That is how Aswasuma funds are allocated. It is the people's money being redistributed. No government in the history of our country has increased the wage of the Malayalam community by 400 rupees in a single step. Our government did this for the first time. When the rights of these people are being protected in this manner, it is shameful that some choose to go to the Bribery Commission over it. You are supposed to go to the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption against those who have stolen public funds, against the corrupt. If you had even a little common sense, you would not have done this. You wouldn't have opposed us giving the Malayalam community a 200 rupee allowance. Can Manu Ganesan, Digambaram and and Radhakrishnan remain unfazed when things like this happen. Can anyone oppose such an increment? No one should. When we question their decision to go to the bribery commission, how can they hold their heads up without shame? It is impossible. Not 400 rupees. Next time, we will take the initiative to increase wages by an even higher amount.
National organizer of the Sri Lanka Podujana Perumuna, MP Namal Rajapaksa, initially opposed providing a 200 rupee allowance to plantation workers in Parliament, but today made a revised statement on the matter.
You have had a very odd policy. The government is paying the allowance to the business owner to increase the plantation workers' wage. Every person earning a low income is taxed, and the collected money is then given to the business owner to pay the worker on their estate. So what happens to the majority of small tea estate owners in this country? Find another way to increase the wages of plantation workers. We are not supposed to increase the wages of plantation workers or to raising salaries in the private sector in this country. However, we do not agree with the method of taxing poor citizens and giving that money to business owners. That is why the government must take a policy decision to directly increase the wages of plantation workers. Why is the government dragging its feet on this? Clearly, the government is on the side of the business owners, not the workers. What is the legal framework for the government to provide funds or allowances to the private sector?
While plantation workers and the public strongly oppose the attempt to block the 200 rupees allowance, certain opposition parties are urging people to gather in Nugegoda on the 21st of November to protest against the government. Today, MP Namal Rajapaksa shared his views on this matter in Kandy.
There are many factions within the opposition. The opposition consists of several political parties and groups. Each of these parties make decisions through internal discussions within their own party. While we must respect their positions when it comes to internal decision making, the main point is to remind the government to fulfill the promises made to the people. We are opposed to any attempt to ignore those promises and use the country for self-serving political control, causing hardship to the public. For this reason, all factions will gather in Nugegoda on the 21st of November.
Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca also shared his views in Colombo today regarding the joint opposition rally scheduled for the 21st of November.
I will not go anywhere near that rally. They never did anything good for the country. That is what I believe. Our country never moved forward with them around. It only moved backwards. Comparing Sri Lanka's growth rate to the growth rate of other countries, it is these people who should be held responsible for everything. It is this same group of people that is holding a rally on the 21st. If the people trust them again and follow their instructions, it won't lead to a better future. The group gathering on the 21st is responsible for the destruction this country has faced. Their politics are done for their own benefit. They enrich themselves, create revenue streams, enjoy luxuries and strengthen their family's power. That's the kind of politics they practice. They live comfortably while doing it. The current government, on the other hand, is working with a clear sense of purpose. Therefore, even if these opposition members swear that they are coming to serve the people, we are not foolish enough to believe them.
The SJB emphasized today as well that it will not join the opposition rally on the 21st of November.
We have decided not to attend the rally on the 21st. I am one of the first to speak on this. We recognize that the current opinion of the people is that the two main power camps, the UNP and the SJB, should work together. This is the reality, and that is what the SJB and the UNP have been discussing. In the midst of this, when a completely different group is attempting to control matters according to their own agenda, we do not oppose them, but we are exploring ways to join the process. To the UNP, we say, please give priority to this discussion. The following ideas were expressed in Parliament today regarding this matter.
You now have the authority. Back then the president said that if he was the one in power, everyone would be in prison. Where are they today? Now on the 21st, they are gathering. On the 21st, they are gathering and lining up against you. The very people who you attempted to arrest. The people who you tried to throw in jail. They are now gathering in Nugegoda. Why? You have lied and deceived the people. Now they're lining up against you.
You have 2 more minutes.
Many people said that the first shot fired to oust the government would begin in Nugegoda. Now yesterday they said that the Nugegoda rally is a rally to remind the government of its promises. They have backed down now. The first shot fired to oust the government has now turned into a rally to remind us of our promises. Therefore, Honourable Deputy Speaker, we have to say that the people of this country know what we are doing, what program we are implementing, what the people's aspirations are, and for what purpose the people give us power. All the MPs of the NPP who are close with the people are aware of this matter.
The second generation convened a media briefing today and expressed views on the joint opposition rally scheduled to be held in Nugegoda on the 21st of November.
The people rejected the previous government. A new government was appointed in place of the rejected one. Now the people have also rejected this opposition. Eventually the people will appoint a new opposition. On the 21st, they can go and show what the rejected opposition is. The second generation will not participate in this rally. We see this as a case of an opposition trying to consolidate power for its own personal interests, forcing people to fall into their trap. We understand that having a strong opposition is a good feature of democracy, and we agree with that. However, what we observe here is an attempt to unite the opposition for self-serving goals.
News First with the people.
Senior Deputy Inspector General Sanjeeva Dharmaratna has been appointed as the Acting Inspector General of Police effective today. He is currently the Senior DIG in charge of the Western Province. Police confirmed that the appointment was made following the overseas travel of IGP Attorney at Law Priyantha Veerasurya. The decision received approval from President Anurukumar Dissanayake as well. IGP Priyantha Veerasurya is expected to return to the country on the 17th of November.
Sri Lanka took a significant step towards strengthening economic ties with India as the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce and the Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry signed a memorandum of understanding in Ahmedabad yesterday.
The agreement aims to expand trade, investment, logistics cooperation and B2B engagement between Sri Lanka and Gujarat, marking a new chapter in bilateral economic collaboration. At the event, Shri Navroz Tharapur, co-chairman of GCCI's International Trade Committee, presented GCCI's vision and initiatives, while GCCI President Shri Sandeep emphasized the Chamber's role in building global business connections and expressed optimism about exploring opportunities with Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's High Commissioner to India, Maheshini Kolonne, highlighted the deep cultural and maritime ties between Gujarat and Sri Lanka and the strategic importance of Mundra and Colombo ports. The press conference and the MOU signing between eSoft Uni Private Limited and the Box Hill Institute took place in Colombo today.
The press conference and the MOU signing between eSoft Uni Private Limited and Box Hill Institute took place in Colombo today. The ceremony was presided over by the Australian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Matthew Duckworth, Director International at Box Hill Institute, John Q, and Chairman and Managing Director of eSoft Group, Dr. Dayan Rajapaksa.
Australia is very keen to ensure that we're doing what we can to support the Sri Lankan government's own objectives in education and skills training. And really it's these key areas such as healthcare, ICT, tourism, hospitality. We can look at things like automotive technologies. There's a lot of new electric vehicles coming into the country. And education as well. These have been areas that have been prioritised in Sri Lanka's own plans as critical for future growth. So again, this is where this collaboration between Box Hill Institute and ESU is really so important taking shape.
At Box Hill Institute, one of the things that we focus on is the life-changing experience, and we want to build up a students become what they want to be. So no matter where our students are, we want them to become what they want to be and to make contribution to the local society, community, and we want our education to serve the people's work, life and community.
The partnership is set to create pathways for Sri Lankan students, significantly enhancing their access to internationally recognized qualifications and global career opportunities in Australia.
In more local news, Sri Lanka has embraced new technology for sustainable shrimp farming.
Sri Lanka's aquaculture sector entered a new era with the launch of the Shrimp Industry Information System, also known as SIIS, the country's first integrated digital platform designed to modernize shrimp farming through technology and biosecurity. The initiative, led by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, also known as FAO, in collaboration with the Ministry of Fisheries, Aquatic and Ocean Resources and the National Aquaculture Development Authority, is part of the FAO-driven project Smart and Sustainable Aquaculture Through Effective Biosecurity and Digital Technology, funded by the Republic of Korea's Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries. SIIS creates a unified digital ecosystem connecting farmers, laboratories, regulators and policymakers through real-time data and analytics, leveraging biodata, IoT, AI and early warning systems. The platform enables proactive disease management, food safety and traceability. Accessible via mobile and web applications, SIIS allows farmers to monitor water quality, report diseases and receive automated alerts. It also supports digital licensing, GIS-based mapping and national-level visibility, strengthening regulatory oversight and evidence-based policy planning.
Public prosecutors in Milan have opened investigations into a list of Italians accused of paying for the chance to participate in the siege of Sarajevo as weekend snipers. According to charges, wealthy foreigners would pay Serbian forces the equivalent of up to $116,000 to shoot civilians, quote-unquote, for fun. The investigation is led by Alessandro Gobes and aims at identifying Italians involved in the killings.
This is the second investigation into the matter after then Mayor of Sarajevo, Benjamin Karic, in 2022 filed criminal charges against quote-unquote persons unknown for their role in the shooting of Sarajevo's population. Italy's La Repubblica reported witnesses describing wealthy Western quote-unquote war tourists who would pay a premium to target children. The charges brought in Milan alleged that groups of Italians and other nationals would pay Serb forces associated with the former Bosnian Serb leader Radovan Karadzic to arrange weekend excursions to the hills surrounding Sarajevo, where they would shoot at the population below as sniper tourists. These claims are based on witness statements collected by journalist and writer Ezio Gavazzini, whose legal complaint earlier this year triggered the current investigation. Serbian war veterans have rejected claims of the practice, some dismissing it as an quote-unquote un-urban myth. Karadzic was found guilty of war crimes, genocide and other crimes against humanity for his role in the Bosnian War in 2016. Between 1992 and 1996, Italian citizens and others who were mainly gun enthusiasts would gather in Trieste, northwestern Italy, on the border with former Yugoslavia on Fridays for a weekend of hunting. It remains unclear who arranged the trips for the alleged groups to take. Journalist and writer Ezio Gavazzini claims that participants would be given a price list for the type of kill that foreigners would pay for who they wanted to target, with children costing the most, then men, women and elderly people who could be killed free of charge. On Thursday, the Public Prosecutor's Office of Bosnia and Herzegovina confirmed to the regional media outlet N1 that investigations in Bosnia and Herzegovina were ongoing. The surge of Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina, took place during the inter-ethnic Bosnian War 1992 to 1995 and claimed an estimate of 1,540 lives. Many were killed by Serb artillery positioned in the surrounding hills. Sniper fire was such a common element of daily life under the surge that one main boulevard even carried the moniker quote-unquote Sniper Alley for the heightened danger travelling along it posed.
The BBC has apologized to US President Donald Trump for a panorama episode that spliced parts of his 6 January 2021 speech together, but rejected his demands for compensation.
The corporation said the edit had given the mistaken impression that President Trump had made a direct call for violent action and said it would not show the 2024 program again. Lawyers for Trump have threatened to sue the BBC for $1 billion in damages unless the corporation issues a retraction, apologizes and compensates him. The fallout from the scandal led to the resignations of BBC Director General Tim Davie and Head of News Deborah Turners on Sunday. BBC News had approached the White House for comment. The apology comes hours after a second similarly edited clip broadcast on Newsnight in 2022 was revealed by the Daily Telegraph. In its corrections and clarifications section published on Thursday evening, the BBC said the Panorama program had been reviewed after criticism of how Trump's speech had been edited. A BBC spokesperson said that lawyers for the BBC have written to President Trump's legal team in response to a letter received on Sunday. They said, quote-unquote, BBC Chair Samir Shah has separately sent a personal letter to the White House making clear to President Trump that he and the corporation are sorry for the edit of the president's speech on the 6th January 2021, which featured in the program. They added, quote-unquote, while the BBC sincerely regrets the manner in which the video clip was edited, we strongly disagree. There is a basis for a defamation claim.
The Sri Lankan cricket team, along with the government, received appreciation in the Pakistani parliament for deciding to continue their stay in Pakistan and participate in the one-day international and T20 matches. The Sri Lankan team was also warmly welcomed by sports fans in Pakistan.
A group of Sri Lankan cricketers who were in Pakistan on the ODI series tour had requested to return home due to security concerns following the recent bomb blast that occurred in the country. Subsequently, Sri Lanka announced that after discussions with the relevant authorities to confirm security, all players, support staff and management were informed to proceed with the tour as planned. Accordingly, reports stated that the Pakistan Army along with armed paramilitary rangers were deployed to ensure the safety of the Sri Lankan cricketers. Upon arriving at the Rawalpindi Stadium for practice sessions, the Sri Lankan team received a very warm and friendly reception from Pakistani spectators. Pakistani players also came to welcome the Sri Lankan team for practice and expressed their appreciation. To review the security arrangements provided to the Sri Lankan team, Pakistan's Minister of Interior and officials including Pakistan Cricket Board Chairman Mohsin Naqvi visited the Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium yesterday. According to a BBC report, discussions between Pakistan's Chief of Army Staff, Field Marshal Azim Munir and the Sri Lankan Defence Minister led to the decision for the players to continue their tour in Pakistan. The BBC further reported that Pakistan's army and Islamabad police would provide security for the Sri Lankan team as stated by Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi during a session of the Pakistani Senate on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Pakistan's Minister of Law, Asad Nasir Tharar, proposed a motion in the Senate to formally appreciate the Sri Lankan team and government, which was unanimously approved. The motion highlighted that the Sri Lankan team demonstrated sportsmanship and decided to continue playing despite terrorist threats.
I would like to thank the President of Sri Lanka, the Government of Sri Lanka, the Cricket Board of Sri Lanka, the players of Sri Lanka and Mohsin Naqvi Saab, Defence Minister of Sri Lanka also. जिन्होंने अपना tour cancel कर, we all acknowledge that and thank all of them.
The second one-day international between Sri Lanka and Pakistan is currently underway in Rawalpindi. Batting first, Sri Lanka scored 288 runs for the loss of 8 wickets at the end of their allotted 50 overs. Chasing a target of 289 runs, Pakistan were 150 runs for the loss of 1 wicket at the end of 26 overs.
Winning the toss, Pakistan opted to field first. Batting first, Sri Lanka's Pathum Nissanka and Kamil Mishara opened the innings. The pair built a 51-run partnership for the first wicket. Pathum Nissanka scored 24 runs while Kamil Mishara scored 27. Subsequently, Janik Liyanage, who joined Sadira Samaravikrama, added a 61-run partnership for the fifth wicket. Sadira Samaravikrama scored 42 runs. Janik Liyanage and Kaminda Mendy strengthened the Sri Lankan innings, building a 73-run partnership for the sixth wicket. Janik Liyanage scored 54 runs, Kaminda Mendy scored 44. Haris Rauf and Abrar Ahmed shared 3 wickets each.
And in more sports news, kicking off the 2025 Asia Cup Rising Stars tournament, Pakistan defeated Oman by 40 runs in the opening match.
In the match held in Doha, Qatar, Oman, having won the toss, chose to field first. Pakistan, batting first, posted a total of 220 runs for the loss of 4 wickets, with opening batsman Maz Sadakat contributing an unbeaten 96 runs. Captain Irfan Khan added 44 runs to the total.
Irfan! All of just 221 to score of the 20.
In response, Oman's Sikriya Islam scored 57 runs while Musahil Rasa added 46. By the end of the allotted 20 overs, Oman finished at 180 runs for the loss of 9 wickets. The Maharaja Media Network has secured the official local broadcasting rights of the tournament. You can catch all the live action of the Asia Cup Rising Stars 2025 tournament on TV1 and online via www.sirasatv.lk.
Yorker, give yourself room.
Nestled in the heart of Sri Lanka, Yala National Park is more than just a wildlife reserve. It's a living treasure. And tonight on beautiful Sri Lanka, we will be taking you there.
Nestled in the heart of Sri Lanka, Yala National Park is a sanctuary for the nature-loving soul. Stretching majestically over 979 kilometers, this wild expanse is not just land. It is a living treasure, home to rare flora with potent medicinal powers. Open almost year-round, the Yala National Park is visited mostly from June to September. Due to the dry climate, wildlife is easy to spot at the park this time.
Beautiful Sri Lanka.
42 teams, now down to just 6. 8 grueling rounds and 1 dream crown. The Sirasa Dancing Star Grand Finale is all set to bring unmatched energy, breathtaking moves and a battle for the ultimate crown tomorrow.
Happy headlines.
Channel for youth that brings fresh, thrilling content to television. Sirasa TV. Back in 2008, we introduced Sirasa Dancing Star, revolutionizing dance in Sri Lanka. Now, 17 years later, we continue to innovate, bringing Dancing Star to a whole new generation. This is the one and only dance competition in Sri Lanka dedicated to hip-hop. Aspiring dancers who've dreamed of this non-stop arrived in 42 teams for the first set of auditions. 8 grueling rounds tested their skill, stamina and creativity. It wasn't an easy journey. Every round showcased talent at an international standard.
Programming best of performance එක
මේවා පිස්සු හැදෙන ඩාන්ස් යන්නේ
Superb ළමයි ටිකක් පත්ත.
But the round that captured everyone's attention? Shri Pop. With love for our heritage, we reimagined our classic songs and signature style with fresh energy, presenting it through Shri Pop. And now we've reached the final step. Tomorrow, 6 teams will battle it out in the grand finale, fighting for the crown that only comes once in a lifetime. This is more than a competition. It's a lifetime achievement. Meet the dream teams: Secret Squad, SLD Rhythm, Team IDS, Flow Dancing Crew, Dance Flame, CS Crew. What will happen to these 6 dreams tomorrow?
As we are the youth of Sri Lanka, we love to try new things, we love to be different, and we want to express ourselves as we want to be. And yes, we are here at the rehearsals of the grand finale of Sirasa Dancing Star, and as we can see right now, the dancers who will be performing tomorrow are getting ready to showcase their talents, their skills, their uniqueness to Sri Lanka and also to the whole world. So I believe during this whole season, we got to experience something new, something very different, something unique to Sri Lanka, and they took hip hop to the world. And one small thing and the biggest highlight of this season was the emergence of the soundtrack of this generation, Shri Pop. And I believe during the past few weeks, I believe Sri Lanka witnessed about how Shri Pop can take Sri Lanka to the world, because if you go in the street, if you go anywhere, we hear the sound of Shri Pop. And yes, the final few seasons and the final few talent and the final few teams will be contesting, will be battling it out here at the Stein Studios in Ratnala tomorrow.
Because hip hop culture ka metan represent kala dina, I think we being hip hop dancers, I think this is one of the greatest things.
විශේෂයෙන් මේ පටන් ගත්ත ශ්‍රී පොප් කියන concept එක ඇත්තටම ගොඩක් වටින දෙයක්. මම හිතනවා ලංකාවේ තව ඉස්සරහට යද්දි ලොකු දෙයක් ශ්‍රී පොප් වලින් කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා හැම dance කෙනෙක්ට.
අපිට ඇත්තටම මෙතනට ආව දවස නම් අපේ knowledge එක මාර විදියට අප් වුණා. අපි දන්නේ නැති දේවල් ගොඩක් ඉගෙන ගත්තා.
experience එක හොඳයි, හොඳ fight එකක් තිබ්බා හැම round එකේම.
ලංකාවේ hip hop කියන culture එක ගොඩක් අඩුයි. traditional පැත්ත ලංකාවේ තියෙන මේවා තමයි ලොකුවට මේවා කරන්නේ. ඉතින් මේක ඇත්තටම අපිට ලොකු opportunity එකක් අපේ තියෙන talent එකත් පෙන්වන්න.
හෙට final එකක දැකපු සුපිරිම ගින්දරම act එක දෙන්න අපිට ready ලා ඉන්නවා.
This is a next level experience. Stein Studios Ratmalana. Ready. Get ready to witness a weekend blast as Sirasa Dancing Star Grand Finale airs tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. on Sirasa TV.
This is the final fight of dance. Sirasa Dancing Star Grand Finale.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Primetime News on TV1.
Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Good night.